in the chamber. So they've called all of them to come around. He's standing in the middle of them and talking to them. It's impossible to hear what they are saying because the microphones are off, and this is not a regular conversation that's happening in Parliament.
Let me do something. Let's see if we can listen in. Maybe we can hear something.
Looks like the meeting is done.
Okay, so what happened there is Muntaka Mubarak just returned from that meeting that we know the leadership were in. It's been quite a while. It's been quite a while. And I presume he would have briefed his side of the house of what has happened. Clearly, there's no agitation, which means that you're happy with whatever conversation that has happened.
Yeah.
And okay, I see now the MPP side. I see the Okre MP, Damboche, in conversation also with the Obiamwa and co. I see Brian Champon, who still looks shell-shocked, still standing there. But of course, the MPP side has been briefed, and they seem content from what I see. Play out there. What are we saying as this plays out?
Well, looks like they all coming to terms with how the outcome is, and now those who are jubilating are piping down the jubilation. Those who are sad now have a bit of a less sad-looking.
I think they're beginning to. He set up calm. He sounded like I've accepted the outcome.
Yeah, it looks like that's what.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But Evans, one thing we shouldn't take away from Alban Bagbin, despite all the conversation around the NDC strategy, as you rightly laid out, that has worked. Chances being that people were uncomfortable with the NPP's own push for Michael Kweyono. One thing we can't take away from Alban Bagbin is that one way or the other, he's risen above the ashes. You recall the time when he contested John Mahama for the flag bearer position of the NDC?
Yeah.
What did we see then? He was second deputy speaker in the same parliament. He was more like one of the key leaders of all the MPs on the NDC side. 106 of them. But guess what happened? Before the contest, as far as the flag bearer race of the NDC is concerned, about 100 of them wrote a joint letter and declared support for John Mahama. Did you remember that? And then we had some MPs like Richard Koshiga questioning whether up to 100 of them were involved.
Yeah.
But essentially what we saw was out of the 106 MPs on the NDC side, although one of their key leaders here in Parliament was one of the candidates contesting for the NDC flag bearer position, 90 plus of them declared their support for John Mahama, openly campaigned for John Mahama. And I recall having that conversation with one of the MPs, if my memory serves me right, I think it was Al-Hassan Suhini, who was urging the others, including Alban Bagbin, to concede defeat and not even go into the race and throw their support behind John Mahama. But guess what? 2 years down the line, the entire minority team has rallied behind Alban Bagbin, and they've even managed to get extra votes in order for him to go on and become the Speaker of Parliament, even as we await the confirmation of that. It's an indication that nothing can be taken away from him in terms of how he probably has conducted himself since he lost that race to John Mahama, and how he has managed to stay in touch with his side. Of course, when you are in the opposition, everyone rallies around one individual, but his own role and his pushing in helping lead things and bringing all these guys on the minority side back to him, including the new MP elect and all, is something that he deserves some commendation.
It also says that the NDC again had managed to close ranks and settle the differences quicker, better, in a more sustainable manner than the MPP. Why do I say that? And you made that point there. That was friction between himself and John Mahama. John Mahama is still the leader of the party. He's still the most powerful person in the party. This is John Mahama's party through and through. There's no more Rawlings, right? May he still rest in perfect peace. He has absolute control over the party. It's what John Mahama says that carries sway in the party. If John Mahama didn't like him, most probably he probably wouldn't have been put forward.
Correct.
I mean, most probably. And this is somebody who went head to head with him, fought with him in the battle, and John Mahama came up victorious. That's not all. This is the man who went public to tell us John Mahama family and friends, right? It took the friction public when John Mahama was a president. The dislike between themselves, he didn't hide it. Now, to make it worse, John Mahama, I remember, that's a public event and reacts to him and others. He says, and I remember what he said then, those of you who want to see my back, wait. That's John Mahama responding to him. This was a fight that played out in the public. He was part of the three wise men who were left doing absolutely nothing than being glorified, people with titles. We all know what happened then, right? Here we are. My point earlier was, in spite of that public friction, somehow the NDC has managed to resolve behind that cause. Now, in contrast, the MPP had friction too, as the primary showed, right? That somehow, and Che confirms it, I'm quoting him, Che Sabunsu, that they failed to fix before the election, for which reason he believes they lost a lot of the seats they did. And clearly, that has followed them into this particular contest too for the speaker, and this is the outcome of it. Winston.
See, Evans, if you're a very good politician, there's one thing you must always have in mind, and that's interest. Okay, I don't need to like you to work with you if you're a very good politician. Now, ask yourself that simple question. In the NDC, who are those who could do this for them? You probably may talk of former Speaker Dua Jaho. But if you mention Dua Jaho, the question is, can Dua Jaho lobby NPP members to break rank and vote for him? I'm not sure. He's been out of parliament for the last...
His name, come on.
Yeah, for the last 4 years, his name came up.
Yeah. In fact, for this contest, his name come up.
His name came up. Then you have Alban Bagbin. Smiling Alban Bagbin, even when he put Professor Dominic Fubi on the spot to
who Chemi Samunsu traveled to go and campaign for.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the
no, he's the one for his primaries.
For his primaries, right? That there was a machinations to.
No, it was Chairman Sabunsu and Dominic Nitu, who at the time were minority leader and deputy minority leader, went to campaign for Bagbin.
Travel to come because then there was suggestion that John Mahama and co were engineering his removal, and that because they preferred him, the MPP side traveled to go and campaign for him.
True? Yeah. So you see, that's the point I'm making now. Even when Bagbin had put Professor Fubi on the spot, and he was faced with a similar situation, he played his way around and said, do not say that because I did it to somebody, you want to do it to me. The simple point I'm making is that the man has ended. He's ended because while he was in parliament, he built a very good relationship with the other side, as many members do. And so your best friends, and I'll make a point, I'm not going to mention names, but Evans, I know 2 MPs, okay, who go and come, like we say in Ghana. One is NDC, one is MPP. They are former MPs now. But today, if you see them, and they're best of friends while they were in parliament. And I know a former minister under the John Mahama administration, powerful minister, whose best friend is currently a minister. So under Akufo-Addo, they just ended their tenure. His best friend was an MPP person. What point am I driving at? Politics is interest. So if you are a John Mahama, it doesn't matter. Who can best serve the NDC's interests? And who can best convince members of the NPP to vote for this candidate that we want to propose? If Alban Bagbin is the one who can do the job, why not? Select him. If Alban Bagbin gets in there, at least there are times he may remember that he's an NDC person. And there are times he may want to play the national interest. Majority of the time, he would put the national interest first. But there are times he could put the NDC interest, and that could lead to a lot of concessions from the NPP side. And that's why I say, if there was ever a time which we can deal with the winner takes all politics in our body politic, this is the opportunity that we have. We have complained, we have talked about proportional representation, but today, you have a Speaker of Parliament who belongs to the opposition party, well, elect. We don't know what's going to happen, we're still waiting, but you have a Speaker of Parliament elect, Atacha has confirmed, so I'm referring to him, who belongs to the opposition party. It tells you that even the members of Parliament, now the President says more than ever, Ghanaians are telling them that they should work together in Parliament. And I am adding that more than ever, the members of Parliament from the NPP side are telling the President, we are willing to work with the NDC, so do same. Let all of us work together. Let us ensure that the country at the end of the day is the one that benefits. And so, even for Bagbing and Co., this signal should tell them that it is no longer their interest, but it is the national interest. And whatever you do today, just as some of them are being judged, you will be judged. Posterity would either shine on you or say you messed up. And so the good thing about all of this, Alban Bagbing, whoever becomes deputy speakers, have a responsibility. And if I were to put on my Christian clothes, I would say it is divine. It is God telling us this is how we should work as a country.
Daku, how, again, we are waiting for the clerk of Parliament to emerge.
Yeah.
And first of all, the counting of the second batch of ballots, I believe for Professor Michael Cream has to complete, because I didn't see that was done. And then the official announcement will happen. But Joseph, assuming, and we're still waiting for the confirmation, everything we've said so far is based on what we've been told on record. Also, you've joined us, we all learned it together, including the NDC side, MPP side, all confirming the same things. So we're waiting for the confirmation. Assuming that all that is true, this will have implications for the business in the House, right?
Correct.
I mean, you're going to have a speaker, and we've eloquently articulated how powerful the speaker is, presiding, right? And then you're going to have this very divided House.
Yeah.
From what has happened, it's clear that even if you do secret ballot all the time, it's not guaranteed that NPP will get 137. Right. NDC will get 137. I mean, at least from what we've seen, it appears that the NDC has the upper hand, because these two people